All right, we are back here on the WCNC Plus live stream Panthers draft special. Carolina selecting offensive tackle Monroe Freeling out of Georgia with the 19th pick in the draft. A lot of questions about how he fits into the current roster construction of Carolina, but let's dive into who Monroe was at Georgia as a player and a person, and to do that, we've got Locked On Dogs host Clint Shamblin. Clint joining us on short notice on speakerphone, which we appreciate. I had Clint's number in my phone because I thought I might be talking to him about Jalen Walker last year. That did not come to pass, but lo and behold, never delete your contacts. Clint, thank you for joining me and talking Monroe Freeling. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. All of a sudden, I'm a huge Panthers fan.
Well, you have a Dave Canales connection, too. Tell us about that.
I do, yeah. Dave Canales and I actually went to college together. We played on the same team at Azusa Pacific, and so I know Dave Canales. Everything that you hear about the kid, I call him kid. He's not a kid. He's a grown man who's doing great things. I really believe in. He's a great guy. Think the world of him. You guys got a great leader, and that's what you want out of a coach, guy who can lead other men, and he can do just that. That's all we knew of him at APU.
Now let's talk about the player he just got, offensive tackle Monroe Freeling. The Panthers, you may be aware, already have about 3 offensive tackles. One's sidelined for now, but how does this kid project as an NFL left tackle?
You know, it's really wild. A lot of people before the draft were projecting him going right tackle, sliding on over. He could do that, but I think left tackle is where you want him. He is first and foremost a guy that loves football. Every single player that comes out of Georgia, Kirby Smart has more first-round draft picks than he does losses at Georgia. Everybody that comes to Georgia loves playing football. Monroe Freeling is no exception. He's tough as nails. He fought many injuries that he played through. Never once was that an excuse for him. He got beat on a couple of times, a hole in his game, most of it from an ankle injury that really debilitated him, but he played through, so he's tough as nails. He has every single tool to stop a power rusher, a speed rusher, a finesse guy that's got moves off the edge. He's somebody that you're going to go ahead and plug and play just like he was at Georgia. He was not a liability in the run game or the pass game. Many times our tight end was on the opposite side of the formation from him, chipping and giving help because he held down the left side so well for us.
He's likely to have basically a year to redshirt here. What do you think he's going to work on in that year to adjust to the NFL?
The one thing that the biggest hole in his game is if he came across a defensive end that had a plan of attack against him pre-snap and a very quick first move, Monroe Freeling could at times be beat with that. 2 years ago against Notre Dame, there was a horrible play in which he got blown past, strip sack fumble, led to a touchdown against us, and that's ultimately why Notre Dame won that game. He came back the following year. We saw fewer mistakes of that, and we saw him get beat off the ball very seldom quickly, but that's what he's going to work on. He's got the frame 6'7", 320, 325, somewhere around there. He's going to bulk up a little bit more. The footwork is fine, but the very first read of NFL-ready defensive ends, especially the top 10, 15% of the league, could be a mismatch for him, which is why if he gets to redshirt for a year, wow, what an incredible opportunity for him to go ahead and catch up to the speed, acclimate to it, and once he has that down, the rest is going to be gravy for him.
Is he somebody that could beat out an entrenched NFL left tackle this August? I mean, do you realistically see that as a possibility?
Look, you guys know the roster composition better than I do for the Panthers, but I'm here to tell you Monroe Freeling is not thinking a redshirt year his first year. He is somebody that could come on. Kirby Smart did 6 or 7 best offensive linemen, and you got to rotate through right tackle, left tackle, guard positions. It didn't matter. So he is somebody that competitiveness is huge for him. Strength is not going to be a problem. Speed and athleticism, we saw it at the pro day. He has that in droves. So nobody's going to out-physical him. It's can he acclimate to the playbook? And if he's a student of it really quick, I'm not going to be shocked to see him rolling out there in some offensive line position to begin the year.
Yeah, Panthers left tackle Ike Ekwonu left the playoff game with a ruptured patellar tendon. No timetable on him yet. They signed Rasheed Walker, kind of long-time Packers offensive tackle, but just to a 1-year, basically $4 million deal. So there is a thought here in Carolina that Monroe, if he's got the right mentality and makeup, like you said he does, could come in here and try to compete for that starting role. Were you surprised he fell to the Panthers? I actually know his his high school coach, Chad Greer, who was among the many thinking that Monroe would be in Detroit tonight.
You know, it was really wild. Before the draft, the whole process began, I thought somewhere in the middle to kind of mid-late first round was going to be appropriate for him. I saw him being mocked way ahead in the top 10, and then I started seeing the rash of the tackles being picked, and I was absolutely shocked at the other tackles above him. Look, Proctor is from Bama, so I hate his guts, but however, he is a complete work in progress. He's going to probably be a guard more than anything else. If you keep him at tackle, that's a bad matchup from him. All the way down to Fano and Magoya, those guys are a little bit more kind of tried and true, ready to go. The Blake Miller pick at Detroit was absolutely shocking to me. So Panthers fans, this is a guy that I think should be top 10. He's got the skill, the talent, the projection on it. He's exactly what you want out of left tackle, somebody whose name you're not going to hear that much. So that's what you want out of him. And so him falling to 19 is a dream scenario. Locked On, we actually did a mock, and somebody said he was going to go 19 to the Panthers and kind of pick their spot here. So I feel like this is a perfect dream scenario for him, especially with what I know of the front office of the Panthers. They want guys who are tough as nails, hard-working mentality. That's exactly what you get in Monroe Freeling.
Well, they do want dogs, so they got one, just with a W.
Exactly that.
Last question, Clint, and thanks again for joining us on short notice. Was there a game Monroe Freeling had, or a couple of games? I saw he was Offensive Lineman of the Week in the SEC against Texas and against Auburn, or a specific player that you kind of think that's the Monroe Freeling game? Like we're seeing flashes of what could be at the next level in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. When you saw him at the last half of the season, early on in the season, it was kind of hit and miss, a little bit back and forth. But the last half of the season, you really saw him take shape and become that first-round draft pick. Against Alabama, late on in the season, in the December 6th, Alabama, we crush him, we win. He held his ground so well in that. Georgia Tech game was a mauling game for him. He came out in that game and absolutely road graded with incredible ability. And you mentioned the Texas game. Texas, from what I was told, had the most efficient defense in the entire nation, and he stone cold locked people down so much where blitzes were coming off his side, and he was comboing off of them so easy and quickly. Earlier on in the season, against Auburn, there was one particular play where he actually got beat inside on a play. You saw him on the tape pound his fists on the ground in such anger and start hitting it with such force. The very next series, he came out a man on fire and drove people off the ball. So I think the last half of the season is the type of player you're going to get, and his trajectory is pointed sky high up.
Awesome. Clint Shamblin, he's the first dog off the board tonight, all the way to 19. Who's next?
You know what? That was really, really shocking to me.
Yeah.
I did not anticipate that at all.
C.J. Hill, maybe? Yeah.
C.J. Allen.
C.J. Allen, sorry.
C.J. Allen is going to get an absolute dog. He's going to be a 10-year starter at linebacker who you don't have to think about, and he's going to get you 85 tackles at minimum every single year. He's the one that I would go to next. And whoever gets Branch at wide receiver, I don't think he's going to go first round. I think he's going to go early second. That guy's a speed demon who's going to be a Julian Edelman, and plus after that on top of it on the outside.
Clint Shamblin, I hope the Panthers draft Bulldogs just about every year so we can do this again, man. I appreciate you doing this on the shortest notice I think I've ever given anyone. So thank you.